lovelies, let's jump right into these FAQs about jasmine locks. First up, most asked question that I get is, are jasmine locks human hair, or what type of hair are they made from? Jasmine locks are synthetic hair. They're not human hair. I don't know anything about human hair or human hair locks. That is a whole nother wheelhouse. I am just a humble home hair care DIYer. I'm not a loctician. I don't braid hair. I'm not licensed or anything like that. I just make these synthetic lock extensions. I started making these because I was looking for something very specific to install myself. I had played with installing faux locks myself that you kind of wrap with different textures of hair. I installed like the bobby locks, you know, with the loop on them, and did you crochet in, they're kind of you know, chunky locks, but I didn't like that everything was wrapped, you know, and locks in real life are not hair that's wrapped, right? It's hair that is tangled over time. So what I did was I played with different textures of hair and different methods of making it look tangled until I got what you see here, which is jasmine locks. Let me tell you what I have installed right now. These are medium. I have, I think, about 31 of them in 31, 32, something like that. They're 12 inch. So 12 inches is plenty long. And I'll show you the texture. Which I love. They have a curly end on them. And that's what I was specifically looking for in a lock, but I could not find it. I couldn't find anyone who could create it for me, and so I decided to do it myself. And since I can't crochet, I can't cornrow, they had to be individual install, and that's when I came up with jasmine locks. I realized that if I was looking for something like this, other women were probably looking for something similar, so I decided to offer them for sale. But I don't do hair, and I can't really answer a lot of questions about what would be preferable for you to do with your hair goals, other than put them in as a temporary protective style. And I do mean temporary. I would not recommend trying to instant lock jasmine locks into your own hair or anything like that. It's a completely different texture than human hair. It's a completely different material than human hair. They are synthetic. Alrighty. Next question that I often get about jasmine locks is, can they be cut? No, if you cut them, you're gonna lose your curly end. You can't comb them out or do anything to retrieve that curly end. Or you also can't cut them lengthwise if you want a different thickness. They come in different thicknesses. They come very thin, medium, and thick, which you can see in my various videos and also on Instagram. But if you try to cut them lengthwise, they'll just untangle and they'll fall apart. All right, next up is, can jasmine locks be dyed? They cannot be dyed. They're synthetic hair, and synthetic hair can't be dyed. They're made from polymer fibers that are the color that you're gonna get at the end result. And if you try to dye them with like human hair dye, which I can't sit here and say I know how it works, but I know it does not work on synthetic hair, it will not work. Another question that I get often is, how do I care for my own hair while wearing jasmine locks? I have a lengthy maintenance video on how to do that, but the answer is actually really quick and easy. Shampoo your hair thoroughly, rinse it thoroughly, dry it thoroughly, and do so regularly, which is what I love. When I put these in, I'm able to still care for my scalp and care for my natural hair. That's the benefit of these being synthetic. They make it really easy to wash and go. So another question I get quite often is, are jasmine locks dense, or how dense are they? Not sure how to answer that, but I will tell you that they're lightly tangled. They're not dense at all. You can, they're designed for your hair to be threaded through them, and so they're not exactly hollow because the strands kind of tangle like this, but they're not tightly packed. I think that's what people mean when they ask, like, are they dense? Are they tightly packed together like a mature lock? No, they're not. They're very, very loosely textured. I'll try to show you right here. I could easily pick this apart not tightly packed at all. And if I just give it a tug, it comes back together. And that is so that you can thread your hair through it. Now, something to add when it comes to the density or how tightly wound or tangled jasmine locks are, is that when you thread your hair through it, that's gonna affect how plump or how thick it looks. So my hair is pretty long right now. It's actually longer than these locks, and so I have them folded over and doubled and threaded through here. You can see an example of that in the how to install jasmine locks video. And so it makes these medium locks look very, very thick. They basically look like thick locks. And so I could put fewer of them in, probably closer to like 20, and have a really natural, chunky lock look. So be mindful when you're installing them that how long your hair is and how thick your own hair is going to contribute to how thick the locks look themselves once they are installed. But they are not dense at all. They're very, very light. That also leaves room for them to mature over time as they kind of settle in and become more and more compact. These are freshly installed. These are a day old, so they're really fluffy right now. You can really see the curls still. And I'm also going to show an example of a set of medium jasmine locks, 12-inch, from when my hair was about half the length of these. You can see that they look thinner. So my hair being longer is going to make them look thicker overall than they did when my hair was short. All right, of course, I'm often asked, how do you install jasmine locks? 1 second. Y'all, it's hot. The sun's shining on me. All this talking, it's making me hot. How do you install jasmine locks? I have a video on just that. I have a couple of them. One on just how do you install jasmine locks, the individual lock method for loose hair, and then you can also see how to install them over actual locks. So right now I have my hair in starter locks, and I marked one of these with this little cowrie shell so that I can show you how I did that. I have a video on it already available, but what I did is I actually took 2 locks, combined them, and then threaded them through each jasmine lock. So I can quickly show you how to remove these. We have a video on how to remove jasmine locks as well. I had these 2 starter locks inside of that jasmine lock, and like I said, I had it folded at the end so that it would fit inside. And so these 2 strands are what is inside each of these locks, each of these jasmine locks. So lots of versatility there. What else? Oh, you can also install them just using a traditional crochet method. Cornrow your hair. Each jasmine lock has a loop on the end. You'll be able to see the loop. So these can be installed on cornrows just like a traditional method. Loop it through, pull it, and crochet it in. What else we got? How will they look? I get that question. How will they look? I think that goes back to what I was saying with that, depending on your own hair, how long and how thick it is, that's going to plump up the lock itself if you have longer hair. And also that depends on how you install them, how heavy you are with your hand when you're wrapping it, and how many you install. So it's all up to you. It can be easily individualized, and that's what I love about DIY hair, is you can play around with it yourself to get the look that you want. So I cannot answer that question, how would they look on you? That's going to depend on how you install them. Even the length, these are 12-inch, but they look really long. They're all the way down to bra strap length, and that is because I don't install them right at the top. This is not 12 inches from my root to the tip. I install it further down my hair and then do a bit of wrapping before the lock actually starts, and so that makes them look longer. If you want to make them look shorter, install them a little bit closer to the scalp and so forth. I like to install them further down because it makes the lock thinner, look tighter at the top, almost like it's a retwist. Oh, here's a good question that I almost forgot to even talk about. How long can I leave them in? Girl, that's up to you. I have left mine in for 5 weeks at the most, and they were fine. That's usually when they start to look the best, and I don't even want to take them out, but my new growth gets long, and I just go ahead and take them out. If your hair doesn't grow particularly fast, you don't have a lot of new growth, you're at 5 weeks, everything's rocking and rolling, you want to go longer. It's fine. They're so quick and easy to install that you can put them in for a couple of days or a week and take them out. No big deal. But you want to be careful about how you take care of your own new growth. So if it's really dangling as opposed to securely attached, I just know that you can risk breakage, and so I would avoid doing that. How long before that happens is really going to depend on your hair, your own hair growth, and also how you install them. So I can't answer that question for you. I can give you a range, 4 to 6 weeks, but they are synthetic and they're meant to be temporary. That's all that I have as far as the most asked questions about Jasmine locks. If you have any other questions, then leave them in the comments and I will get back to you on that. I'll answer you directly, do another video, whatever the case may be. All right, lovelies, thanks for your time.